Hello. Today we are going to talk about the rules, advice, and necessity. In life we pretty often have to do something because it's necessary. But how we express this necessity and how it's being expressed for us, how we perceive what is being said, has got a significant meaning to how we behave and what we do. So today we are going to talk about the modal verbs. And we're going to talk about the situations when we hear the internal voice, when we have the external rule, when we give the friendly advice or receive, and when we have the functional necessity. In all these situations, modal verbs are the perfect verbs, is the perfect way to accurately express what we want, to pass what we want someone to do, when we think is necessary or needed. Stay tuned for a few minutes here and you're gonna master the modal verbs of necessity. Welcome to English Bullet, the channel where we fire up your day with practical English and powerful motivation for your business and life. Having used English in business for over 20 years, I'm here to share what I've learned. Let's get started. Okay, the first bullet. First, we have to understand where the necessity or obligation comes from. Is it our inner voice or the external rule that is somehow imposed on us? So when we talk about the inner voice, that we feel that we must do something, we use the modal verb must. For instance, I must call my parents. I know it, I feel it, and I say I must. And when we have the external rule, that it's imposed on us, that we are told to do something by some certain rules or regulations. For instance, I have to wear the uniform during the official meetings in the office. It means there is a rule in the office and I have to do that. Whether I want it or not, it doesn't matter here. I have to do that because the rules tell so. But remember one thing here. If we talk about the past, must doesn't have the past form here. So when we are talking about the yesterday's obligation, whether it's the internal or external, we always use had to. For instance, yesterday I had to stay in the office for a bit longer to finish my job or because I was told so. It doesn't matter where was the obligation coming from. But the past of must and have to is the same. Had to. I had to. Okay, and now with the second bullet, let's add a very useful tool to our language, which is the modal verb need to. While the have to is about the obligation, need to is about the necessity. It means that we are aware that something is necessary to be done to achieve a certain goal. It's necessity. It's very objective. It doesn't come from any obligation. We don't feel it personally because we just know it's needed. It's essential. For instance, we need to upgrade our software in order to improve security. Or you need to work on your vocabulary if you want to speak fluently in English. You need to. It's necessary for you to do that if some certain goal is to be reached. So you may use it in sentences like with your team or your colleagues. Instead of saying you have to do that, you have to work harder, which sounds like a boss, you may say we need to work more on the project to finish before the deadline. It's more collaborative. It emphasizes the cooperation and the goal, and it focuses on the goal that we may achieve together, but we need to do something before. And we come to the third bullet, which is so much softer, so much nicer. It's the modal verb should. It's the word of wisdom or a friendly advice. There is no obligation, there is no necessity, just the friendly advice that you give to someone. For instance, you see someone tired and you may say, "You should take some rest, you look tired." You give him advice. Or you tell someone, "You should study a little bit more, your exam is coming, I want you to pass, so I would recommend you to study more. I want to give you a friendly advice." Use it in English to sound politely, because if you say to someone that you should do something, you give a person a choice, a freedom of choice, whether he takes this advice or not. It builds the respect, because somebody feels that you want the best for him, you give him advice, but at the same time you respect his boundaries, you respect his will. He is or she is to decide whether they follow what you say. So the friendly advice should. And before we get to the conclusion, just one short advice and the trap with the negative forms of the verbs we talked about. When you have this have to and need to, the negative form would be you don't have to, you don't need to. But when you have a must, which is the internal voice, this necessity that comes from our internal perception, the negative form is not mustn't. Because mustn't means a rule that you cannot do something. You are not allowed to do something. It's for certain strict rules. You mustn't do that. So remember, so as not to mix those. Must doesn't have the mustn't negative form. Remember that. So the quick summary here for better remembering and understanding. We had the modal verbs expressing the obligation, which was the must, which is the internal obligation, I feel so, which was the have to, which is the external obligation, following rules. Then we had need to, which expressed the necessity, something that needs to be done to achieve a certain goal. It's goal-oriented. And we had the third bullet, which was the friendly advice, should. You should watch the English Bullet channel. You should subscribe. There is a profound quote by the polymath Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. In your English journey, you should practice. But to truly succeed, you need to be consistent. You must believe in your potential, even if it feels like it's something that you have to do. Okay, and let me know 3 things in the comment, okay? First, tell me something you must do for yourself. Second, tell me something you need to do to improve your English. And the third one, tell me something you should do to relax during the weekend. Let me know in the comment, please. And share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more. Have a good one.